Aaron Householder. You can have a seat. Thank you. Can I get you anything to drink or water or coffee or anything?
No, thank you.
Okay.
I don't want to be here that long, so.
Oh, okay. My name is Quinn Foster. I'm the social worker here at the counseling center.
Mm-hmm.
And I have you in my paperwork as Aaron Householder. What would you like to be?
I prefer James.
James? Okay. Mm-hmm. James, well, today, I know that you said you don't want to be here that long. We'll just be here for 20 minutes. Our purpose for our time today is just for me to kind of get to know you a little bit and kind of see where you're at, and your role in that is just to be as open and honest as you can. I know that can be really difficult because we just met, so that's awkward.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, but we have a confidentiality policy here at the center, and anything that you say in here will be kept confidential unless I feel like you are at harm to yourself or somebody else. So, do you have any questions?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, well, tell me why you're here today, James.
I don't want to be here today. It was recommended to me by my wife, who has moved out and is talking about divorce, and has said that she won't talk to me again until I come here, which I think is a stupid idea, but not her first stupid idea, so there we are. She thinks that we don't communicate well, I guess, and I really don't know. So she said, I need help. This is how she said it. She says, you need help, so go talk to these people. And I said, it takes two people, and she hung up on me. So here I am. I'd like to actually get some sort of insight into how I get to talk to her again or something, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So your wife recommended that you come here.
Recommended is a very generous way to put it, yes.
Okay. You mentioned that it was something kind of a stupid idea. Tell me more about that.
Well, we've been married for 10 years, and there have been a few times where we've struggled with something, whatever, fighting about this or not connecting that way or whatever, and she always wants to fix it. She always wants to go talk to somebody or recommend somebody, and usually when that happens, it's we gather with somebody, the two of us, and talk to a counselor or a pastor or somebody, and it ends up being that here's a list of all the things that I'm doing wrong. And so this feels to me like just another one of those. The only difference is she's not here today, presumably because it's just so obvious that everything's my fault that she didn't need to bother. So yes, and I don't mean to take it out on you, it's not your fault, but all the way over here, I kept turning around. I'm going home. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But I don't know. Here I am. I don't expect any good thing to come out of it. Usually she just sort of gets past it and we do some stupid thing and then it's done. Anyway, sorry. I sound bitter, but this has been a thing. It goes on a lot.
Yeah, and that can be really hard if it feels like something that's reoccurring and you're not really sure how to fix that.
Yeah. And it seems to come out of nowhere. She just suddenly decides we have a problem, and now we need to go fix it. And I don't know where the problems come from. I don't know. I don't know. So you just wake up one day and say, okay, now we're estranged, or now I'm off to counseling, and I got better things to do. But
so you feel kind of frustrated with the reoccurrence?
Yes, I do. And it just feels unfair. Like it's become a hobby almost for her, it seems like, where we just, what's wrong with him today? And yeah, it is frustrating. I don't want to live like this.
Right.
This time is the first time she's actually moved out. She's staying at her mother's house, which is just the worst idea. So, maybe this one's different this time. Maybe it's more serious or something. I don't know. Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about how it seems like a reoccurring problem.
Yeah.
Tell me about your wife and you's marriage.
Well, we've been married 10 years, like I said. We dated for about a year before we got married. We're busy people, as many people are. I work in insurance. I'm in meetings all day. She's an accountant. She is also in meetings all day, and then she wants to come home. We come home every night. We don't have children or anything. It's just the two of us. We come home every night and have dinner or whatever, and then she wants to talk about work, and I'm happy to do that. She wants to watch movies together, Hallmark Christmas movies together, for God's sake. I don't want to do that. We've talked on several occasions, usually in front of a counselor where everything's my fault, she says that I'm distant sometimes, that I'm too tired, I don't have any energy, I used to be more fun, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I'm 37 years old, so when we got married, I was in my upper 20s, and we traveled and we did things. I have a job, she has a job, and I talk to people all day. Mm-hmm. I don't even want to be talking to you right now, no offense, but I talk to people all day, and it's tiring. I want to go home, and I want to sit down, and I want to not talk, and I want to watch baseball. That's really all I want to do. Mm-hmm. She doesn't like baseball, that's fine. Go in the other room, watch your stupid movie or whatever, and she doesn't think that's good enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really tiring. I understand that talking to people all day can be really exhausting, and wanting to come home and kind of have time to yourself.
Yeah.
Which can be really difficult to find throughout the day. So you mentioned that you guys used to travel when you were younger, and there was a lot of fun in that. Mm-hmm. Tell me more about when that kind of died down a little.
Well, we got married. I was 27. She was 25. We had jobs, but not career jobs. But we had enough money, so we spent one Christmas in England. Went to France once over the summer for a couple of weeks. I went to Iceland once just because that sounded fun, which was okay. And we did that. I don't know, maybe until I was probably 30, I guess, when I got this job, and it's one of those jobs where you walk into it and you're like, okay, it's 40 hours a week, it's whatever, and you start to get promoted, you move up, you start wearing jackets like this to work, and then it's 50 hours a week and 60 hours a week, and that's fine. I'm good at what I do, and I manage these accounts. I have these meetings with people. I don't want to sound so arrogant, but I'm important at my job, and so we don't have a break in the summer anymore. We don't have Christmas where we can spend 2 weeks in England. As much as I would love to do that, we just can't. And she has a practice. She has a private practice in accounting, so tax season is very busy for her, but then it kind of tapers off a little bit. So she says, well, look, I'm not busy. Why don't we travel? And I can't. And then she says, well, why don't we sit and talk about that for 7 hours one night? And I don't want to. And so, I don't know when we stopped traveling, but we did. And I had recommended, we could just take a weekend, go drive somewhere. That's fine. She doesn't want to do that, or she does do that, but then she just talks all weekend in the car, and I don't want to do that anymore. So, I don't know. We got off the rails somewhere. I've been in this job for 7 years, and we have traveled maybe once in that time. And I don't want to apologize for that. I'm good at what I do, and I've said that to her. Don't you want somebody? Don't you want a husband who's successful? And I don't know. Maybe she doesn't.
She doesn't.
Maybe she doesn't want a husband who's successful. Maybe she wants a husband to just do whatever she says and cater to her all the time. I don't know. I just want to watch baseball. Really, at home, I just want to sit down. That's it.
we talked a little bit about your work. It seems like you're really busy at work all day. And you mentioned that your wife works as well. Tell me about her job.
Well, she does the, that went dark. Is that supposed to go dark?
It's fine.
Okay, good. She is, like I said, she's a private practice accountant. She does taxes for people. She does some bookkeeping services, which is really below her. She has a CPA. She's well educated, well trained. She does some small business accounts in a town around our house. Little mom and pop shops that she does their accounting for them. From January to April 15th, and sometimes a little beyond that, she's very busy. And oddly enough, during those times, we're fine. Because she's tired too. She comes home, she works in her office. She has just a little office next to our house, and she works in there for 12 hours a day doing tax returns and all the boring stuff that whatever accountants do. I don't even know. And then she comes home and she wants to eat, but she's very quiet, and then she just kind of watches TV and goes to bed. And we don't fight during the winter. It's nice. Mid-spring, right around the time baseball season starts, which is right around the time tax season ends, she's ready to start talking and traveling and doing whatever, and I don't want to. I want to watch baseball. And so, anyway, that's what she does. She meets with people, she files returns. I don't know. I know occasionally she has clients that she has trouble with. You know, they're mad about their tax returns, whatever. So she'll talk about that, and I'll say, oh, I have some clients that they're mad, and we can connect. You know, because everybody's mad at the insurance companies, and that's just part of my job. And I handle that, and that's fine. And I can handle her when she's mad, and that's fine, except for this time. So, yeah, that's what she does. I think it sounds boring, but she seems to like it.
So your wife works in accounting, and she seems very busy also. It seems like you both have just very busy schedules. Tell me about kind of where you find time to spend time with each other.
Well, yeah, that's a question she would ask, and I don't like that. We're in the house together. We sleep in the same bed. We talk in bed sometimes. We on Saturdays, you know, we sleep in. We don't have kids to wake us up, so we can sleep in. We can go get breakfast somewhere. So we see each other. We see each other on the weekends. We go to church on Sundays. I mean, I just don't know how much. And maybe you're the expert. I don't know how much am I supposed to spend time with her? Yes, we used to travel. Yes, that was exciting. Yes, it was an adventure for the two of us. I get that. She's said that many times. It feels like we're not at the adventurous part of our lives. I mean, it's not new, because when we were traveling, we had just gotten married, and it was, you know, that honeymoon phase, which lasted for like 3 years. That's great. I don't know what the problem was. And we were fine then, and now she's like, I miss the adventure, I miss the whatever. And it's while there's a baseball game on is when she wants to talk about these things. And I do see her over the weekend. I see her, you know, when the office is closed on a holiday, we'll go out for dinner. I don't know what she wants. I don't know how much, like, is there a number of hours I'm supposed to spend with her? Should I, you know, every night from 8 to 10, I will just look at you while you do your thing? Does that count? I don't know, and I can't get her to tell me. What does that mean? What is quality time, she keeps saying. I don't know what that means, and I don't know how much it is, and I don't know why I just want to sit. I have clients at work, and I have to build those relationships, and I have to maintain those relationships, and that is exhausting, because I don't even like those people, but I need to like those people, or at least work with them. So when I go home, I want somebody that I just know. She's there, she loves me, she knows that I love her. Why can't we just be in the house? Why does it have to be a thing? But apparently, so I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. Whatever I'm doing, I'm not doing it right in her eyes. So
yeah, that's really exhausting again, just working with people all day. So
Yeah.
I definitely understand that. You mentioned that she wants more quality time, and you're kind of confused as to what that means.
Yes.
Tell me about how those conversations have gone with her about that.
Well, she usually comes in about the fourth inning of whatever game I'm watching and says, hey, we're not spending quality time together. And I will pause the TV and say, what does that mean? And this is the phrase she uses, quality time. Like she read it somewhere, heard it from one of her friends or her mom probably. Quality time. You should be spending more quality time with your husband. And so I say, will you please tell me, define that? What is quality time? Can we sit here on the couch and talk about work? Is that what you mean? And she says, we used to do it. We used to spend quality time. We had all this time when we were younger. Okay, we're not young anymore. We're not that young anymore. And so I say again, will you please just tell me? Tell me what I'm supposed to do. And then she's like, and walks off. So I have never heard a definition of quality time. In my job, I have policies that I deal with people. Here's how insurance works. Here are the rules. Here are the standards. Here's the shape of the policy. Here's how you go through a claim. I want somebody to say, here's a document. Quality time. This is what it looks like. Here's what I'm supposed to do. 20 minutes a night of just talking about our feelings, great. If that's what it is, let's do that. Is it, a half an hour on the weekend where we just take a long walk and gaze at the trees or whatever you do? Fine, I'll do that. But I don't know. And she won't teach me that. She says, I should already know that because we've been married for 10 years. So I should already know how to do this. Well, clearly I don't. Because here we are. So.
Yeah, that sounds very frustrating when there's that kind of miscommunication in both of your definitions of quality time. You mentioned earlier that you guys have gone to marital counseling together. Tell me about what that looked like.
Well, the first time we went, it was a couples retreat or some damn thing, and we went into the woods in some cabins, and it became all these couples, and you'd work with other couples, and you'd get together and talk about it, and it became me sitting there looking like an idiot, and her saying, "So here's what my husband does wrong." Well, that wasn't any fun. And what I do wrong, apparently, I don't pay attention to her. I only want to watch baseball. I don't talk about my feelings. I don't know what quality time is. I spend too much time in the office. I blah, 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 blah. So that retreat was kind of a disaster, and we fought all the way home. It was like a 3-hour drive, and we just fought all the way home. And by fighting, I mean I tell her to shut up because she just keeps doing this, and I'm finally like, I can't take it anymore. Let's be quiet. And it's this angry, thick quiet all the way home, which is how we fight. We don't actually fight very verbally. We just sort of, I don't want to talk. I'm done. So that was the first time, and we never got sort of over that one. And then she recommended individual counseling, the two of us with our pastor, who worked through some things, and he was kind of nice because he kind of resisted her attempt to make it all my fault. He was like, what sorts of things could you do to help the situation? He was asking her that question, and nobody had asked her that yet. Her friends certainly don't ask her that. Her mom doesn't ask her that. The questions are always, what's wrong with your husband? So he asked her those questions, and it was a little better for a while. She was a little bit more, sensitive to me. She didn't walk, and this is a thing. This has always been a thing for us. Right when I walk in the door, because she works next to the house, so she's home when I get home. Right when I walk in, still have my coat on, she starts asking me questions. How was your day? How are you doing? How do you feel? Did you have a good meeting today? And I'm like, I have my coat on. Let me get in the house. Why are you talking to me? Just this wall of sound. And so for a while after that, meeting with the pastor, meetings, we had like 5 of them, she said, she kind of gave me space when I got home. She just let me get in, take my coat off, take my shoes off, go change my clothes into something that's more comfortable than this. And then she would sort of approach gently. And that was nice. That was really nice. And that went away. That stopped. We had like a month of that. It was great, and I was happy. I just want to be left alone. So that went bad, and then we fought, and then we ended up at another counseling center, kind of like this one, but a different place. And it was a female counselor like you, and it was all my fault again. And I'm not saying it's a gendered thing, but I'm just saying the two of them started trading stories about how stupid I am, or whatever. Insensitive was the word they used, which was awesome. And the whole time I'm checking my phone because I just don't want to. So anyway, that's a longer answer than you wanted. That's what it's looked like. The retreat was a disaster. The pastor thing worked well. I thought she didn't. And then the female counselor was just a train wreck. So
that sounds really discouraging, to kind of have to listen to those complaints often.
Right. Which is why I didn't want to come today. I don't need more of that.
Right, and that is completely understandable. Listening to complaints about yourself, like, that's very discouraging.
Yeah.
Tell me how that's made you feel in the past.
Well, it used to really make me angry. I just feel, who wants to be attacked all the time? And I've thought about it. I'm a fairly reflective person, I think, and I maybe there's some things that I could do different. I sent her flowers once, those kind of things, but that's just never enough. And I don't want to say it made me want to give up. I don't like that idea of giving up. But I mean, after you've heard so many times, what you're doing is wrong. What it feels like is saying who I am is wrong. And why did you marry me? That's what I want to ask her. I've never asked her that. But what was it? Why are we here? How did this go this way? And I don't want to ask her that because she'll say, and I know she will, and I can hear the tone, I can hear it. She'll say, you're not the man you were. You used to pay attention to me. You used to take me to England for Christmas. I don't know how many times she says that. And when she says it, she uses a little accent just to rub it in. You used to take me to England. Oh, hate that. So I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask. I just, it makes me want to not talk to anybody. I used to want to just sit and watch baseball, and now it's like I need to. Because why would I ask her a question so that the answer comes back, you suck as a husband? I'm not going to call her mom and ask her because she already thinks I'm a horrible person. We don't go to the same church anymore, so I can't go to that pastor. I don't want to ask you what I should. I don't want to give up, but I also don't want to move. Like, I just don't want to move.
You're really discouraged from hearing the comments over and over again.
Yeah, I should be. Why wouldn't I be?
That's completely understandable. You mentioned that you want to ask her why she married you in the first place.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah. Well, and I want to ask her that, but not for her to answer. I want her to stop and think. Like, if you spend 8 years, 7 years, upset at me, why did you pick me? Why did you say yes when I proposed? What are we doing? But I also don't want to ask her that because like I said, I don't want to hear it. Because it'll be negative. I just can't imagine her. I don't know where we lost that. She used to say nice things to me too. And somewhere along the way, and I know what she would say. She would say back when we spent more time together, or back when we had more energy, I would spend more time with her. I would talk to her more. I know that. And we used to think about, what the future was going to be like. That's what you do when you're 30 years old and you're married, you're newly married for 3 years or whatever. You're looking ahead, and maybe kids, maybe grandkids, and where are we going to live, and what kind of jobs are we going to do, and we had things to talk about. But now, a lot of those questions that we wondered about have been answered. We're not having kids, and I think that's a good choice. I know what kind of job I'm going to have because I have it. We have traveled. Travel's hard, and it's expensive, and you have to go through all the security things, and I don't really want to do that. It's like work. So all the things that we used to wonder about, we don't wonder anymore. So isn't that, and it just feels like it should be this way, and she disagrees, but isn't that the time where you can just sort of take it easy and rest at home? Why do I have to work at home? Why do I have to come home and say, okay, I have to build this relationship now after I just spent 12 hours on the phone with people trying to build those? Why do I, and I didn't used to have to work at it so hard. I don't. It's unfair. I had more energy then, and I had to do less work on this. And now I have less energy now, and I have to do more work on this. And I don't know. I don't know.
So you guys had an exciting and joy-filled marriage at the beginning.
Yeah, we did.
And somewhere along the line, there was kind of a disconnect.
Yeah, somewhere. And I would be interested in pinpointing when that was or what that was, if we could ever talk about it without just immediately jumping to whose fault it is. Because it's mine, apparently, but I kind of think it's hers. When we were dating and when we were married early, she never nagged me about anything. She never nagged me about watching baseball. We went to games. We would travel to the stadium and go see the games in person, which she always thought was fun. And we don't do that now because, we work early in the morning. I can't do that at night. But I can watch it on TV. I've told her before. You can watch it with me. But she wants to watch whatever she's watching, the horrible things that she won't watch in the same room with me because I ruin them, because I talk about how much they're terrible. The writing's bad, whatever. I just want to watch baseball. So I would be interested, like I said, in figuring out where that went wrong. But we can't seem to talk about it without, kind of shooting at each other. Or her shooting at me and me just telling her to be quiet.
You mentioned that you've previously gone to counseling together.
Yeah.
Tell me, do you think your wife would be interested in meeting individually with somebody?
Meeting individually, like somebody like you with just her? I don't know. That's interesting because she would have to say, maybe there's something I need to work on. As she talks to me right now, she seems to think that I'm the one that has the issue. I'm the one who has changed. So for her to be willing to meet with somebody would be, and I know how her brain works, it would be an implicit admission that maybe it's not just me. Would she be willing to do that? I don't know. Really, I don't know if she would. I'd like to think she would. It does take two people. I'm afraid the invitation would have to be something like, why don't you come to my office and we can talk about how bad your husband is? I think she'd probably go for that. But as far as, it takes two people who are healthy, you need to talk as well. I don't know. I think she'd be more inclined to come with me. Especially if I sold it to her.
So we only have a couple more minutes left.
Okay.
And I don't want to keep you because I know that you have somewhere to be.
I have a meeting.
So we've talked a lot about you and your wife's marriage in the past, and it's kind of a blur as to where that disconnect happened at, and maybe talking to your wife about having her come in. Would that be an option?
Yeah, I mean, I could. It would be one way that I know she'd answer the phone. If I call and leave a message and say, look, I went to the counselor that you recommended. I'll even use the word recommended, even though she made me do it. I'll say recommended. I went to the counselor. I'll find a nice way to say it didn't totally suck. Would you be willing to come back with me? I mean, I could try that. I don't guarantee that she'll say yes. She might just say something like, "Good, you need it. Go back by yourself." She might say that. I don't know. I probably am too negative at this point about. I've heard it too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, are you recommending? Do you think I should do that? Do you think I should call her? Are you even allowed to make a recommendation? I don't know how these things work.
Well, calling her and having her come in and talk,
Yeah.
that would be something that we could do.
Mm-hmm.
But that's if you guys are both willing to do that. So we can maybe come in next week, just you and I, and talk a little bit more about that. But thank you again for sharing today and being very open with me.
Yeah. Well,
So.
thank you for not blaming me for everything. That's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
So I could probably find time next week.
Okay, great. I will do that.
Thank you.
Are you enjoying this weather? It's cold outside.
No, because baseball season's over. So
Oh, right.
that ruins everything.
Okay, done. Let me turn off the video.